This is the plaintiff, Ellen Stahl. She says she hired the defendant to represent her in a landlord-tenant situation related to her divorce, and the guy failed miserably in helping her, and she wants him to refund the $5,000 she paid him. The defendant actually sold her down the river in court. She had to hire another lawyer, more competent, and is suing the defendant here and now for the $5,000 she's owed. This is the defendant, Vincent Licata. He says he doesn't owe the plaintiff a penny because he worked his tail off for her. The plaintiff is just disgruntled and mad at her ex because she was financially cut off, and that led her to be disgruntled towards him. Bottom line, he knows the judge will agree, and he'll walk out of here the victor. He's accused of making things even messier.
All parties, please raise your right hand. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Okay. Ellen Stahl,
Yes.
you are suing your former attorney, Vincent Licata, for $5,000 in legal fees that you paid him that you want him to return to you because you believe they were unearned. Tell me what happened.
Okay. I hired Mr. Licata from a friend. He lived in the neighborhood. He knew my kids. All right. He was recommended. All right. And I was in a desperate situation. I was going through a terrible divorce. I wasn't
How long
paid
had you been married?
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't been paid a dime since then, and we're still married. All right.
And how long has the divorce been pending?
It was 6 years. And I wasn't even given support. Nothing.
You asked for alimony and you didn't get it?
I asked for everything.
Okay.
You name it, everything.
Okay.
All right. He didn't want to give any of his finances. He held up the court, and he was holding all the money, and he was holding all the assets.
Tell me about the asset that's in question, because you hire him for what?
I hired him. We had net leased a building for over 25 years.
What does net lease mean?
Net lease means you take over, you pay the taxes, you take over all the responsibilities of an owner, all right? You don't own the property. What you do is get a first option. The first option, you can buy it, all right? Other than that, you can either sell the option or give it back to the owner, whatever, but it was a first option.
And it was going to last how long?
It lasted over 20 years.
Okay. Was this something that was entered into or purchased or an asset that was acquired after the marriage?
No, in the marriage, all right?
And so this was a building with how many units?
There was second, third, fourth, fifth, and a store.
So how many units?
About 5.
Okay, so did you have businesses renting it?
Yeah, no, we had
What was
residents.
the income on the building?
Residents.
Just curious.
There was what?
What was the income on the building?
Like a year? About 200,000.
So now you guys separate, or you guys are going through this tough divorce or whatever, and you are still living there?
What happened was this, Your Honor. We also had another piece of property. All right, he put that into almost foreclosure. All right, we had to get out of it. I was on the top floor of that one too. All right, so what happened was he refused to let me into the asset. All right, he was living in there with my children. He refused to let me into the asset while we were separated.
How old are the children?
They're now 20. All right, so what happened was the small amount of money I got from the first disgraced $17 million building sold for 100. The bank got 9 and it sold for 10. All right, so
Million?
Yeah, and I got 120,000 out of it, of which I had to go find an apartment and live there because we were fighting to get back into the other asset. In the meantime, all that money was getting used, gone. I'm getting evicted from there.
I'm confused. You're getting evicted from a place that you've lived in how long?
Well, I was only supposed to be there temporarily because I was supposed to be moving back into the other asset. I finally got back into that asset. I finally got back into the building. The judge ordered it. He ordered my husband to put me back into that asset.
And that asset is an asset where you had lived for how long?
I had lived there for about 3 years, but we own the
right. But I see this order that a judge crafts at some point, which we'll talk about. That happens a little bit after that, where the judge is saying that it's the only marital home you've ever known, that you've lived there your entire married life of 30 years. That's not true.
Wait, the judge never said that. I mean,
I misread it. Hold on.
No.
This is a long-term marriage. The parties are of advanced age. This is a long-term marriage. The parties are of advanced age. I can't get past that sentence.
That's what everybody said.
What is this? They are
idea.
living apart. The wife is facing eviction May 5th from the apartment in which she resides. The husband has control of the only marital property which is a mixed commercial residential use building on Reed Street in Manhattan. He holds a net lease on the building that will expire November 2011. There is an empty apartment on the 5th floor of the Reed Street building. The wife cannot afford to relocate to another apartment for which she will have to pay a deposit, first and last month's rent. Accordingly, I prevent the wife from becoming a public charge, and I order the husband to make the 5th floor apartment available to the wife for the duration of the net lease. Well, that was kind of nice and probably baseless. What was this about?
He doesn't know.
So you hire him to do what?
I hired him. All right. Once I found out my husband sold the option, of which I had a friend that was going to help me obtain it's all about that. Obtain the option to the building. All right. Obtain the option to the building. So I didn't have
You mean
to
the option to buy the building?
Yes. We, as the owner of the net lease, had first option to buy it.
And then you find out that your husband sold that.
Yes. Get sold. I have the rent roll. They took this on, and the new owners took it on with me as zero rent roll. All right, zero rent roll. They took that on knowing that.
And then the new owner
told,
said, get out.
The new owners told me not immediately to get out. They were going to just start. All right. So that's why I went to see him.
So you went to see him to represent you against whom? The new owners?
A loft board.
What is the loft board?
The loft board is an entity that was created by the state, and it enacts rules regarding people who've lived in residences for a consecutive period for over 20 years. So given the fact that Mrs. Stahl didn't have residency for over 20 years in the building, continuous residency over 20 years, she didn't apply under the loft law.
Okay, but now you go to see him because you want to be able to stay there as long as you can, or try to fight this or whatever else. You hire him to do specifically what did you hire him for?
First, to see what is my standing in front of the loft board. If I do have a right to stay there.
Okay, so you hire him, and do you sign a retainer agreement?
No, we didn't sign.
Did she sign a retainer?
No.
She did.
May I see it?
No, I signed a retainer. He didn't remember because I was so upset.
Okay, and then you pay him how much?
$5,000 in cash.
Did she pay you $5,000 in cash?
Judge, there's no dispute that she didn't pay me.
So she paid you $5,000 in cash, and she wants it back, and you want it back. Why? What happened during the representation?
Well, what he did was he goes back to he has a date to go back to court. I don't hear from him. I'm calling him. No phone, no call, no nothing. Finally, I get this. Ellen, pick up. You have to call me back. You have to give me back. Man, he has no secretary, nothing in his office. All it is a machine and his clothes. Okay, so basically, I call him back. I said, what's going on? What's going on? He goes, you got to leave. You got to leave. You got to leave in March. This is January, February. I got to leave the 1st of March. I go, what do you mean I have to leave? He didn't even try to extend the time. He did nothing. He went for 1 hour. 1 hour he was in there. The whole purpose of this, Your Honor, is that he never gave me a statement. I have letters by attorney.
He never gave you a statement?
Never gave me a statement.
You mean a bill?
Of work done.
Okay.
Never gave me a statement.
I haven't.
Did you ever send her a timesheet?
I did, Your Honor. I did send her a timesheet on February 14th.
Of what year?
Of 2012.
When is it that she told you she wouldn't need your services anymore?
February 7th.
Of what year?
Of 2012.
These are the letters sent back.
Okay, so I see this order, the one I was reading from earlier. What lawyer got you that?
All right. What, the order? Oh, Polly Eustace. All right.
That's a prior lawyer?
No, that's the lawyer I had to get.
I'm not understanding because the dates on this order are 2011, so that's not making sense.
She took the case.
After him or before him?
All right. You mean after he had the case?
Yeah.
He was the lawyer after him.
She was the lawyer after him?
Yeah, he was dismissed.
I'm not understanding that it can't be 2012.
Your Honor, that order is from Judge Evans.
This is a witness.
Judge Evans was the lawyer that was presiding over the divorce case.
The judge, not the lawyer.
And Judge Evans issued that order I believe in April of 2011. And that order said that she was to stay in the apartment for as long as the net lease was in effect.
Which was until November.
The net lease
so
expires.
she comes to see you after that.
Correct.
Okay.
The net lease expires in November.
Of 2011.
Of 2011, the new landlord brings eviction proceedings.
Against her.
Against
her. And the
her.
eviction proceedings are instituted when?
I believe in December of 2011.
She comes to see you and hires you when?
She hires me in December of 2011.
All right, and then it gets set for trial for when?
February of 2012, after an appearance on January 6th, after trying to negotiate with the landlord's attorneys, after having an agreement with the landlord's attorneys to allow her to stay in the premises for 6 months before she had to leave. She had no rights under the loft law. I conferenced the case, spoke to her divorce attorney, Robert Hilsiger. I met with her in court. I met with him in court.
Okay.
He was trying to.
You gotta stop.
Okay.
He was trying to find a nexus between the property, the new owners, and Mr. Stahl.
A continuing nexus.
A continuing nexus.
Why does he have to do that? Why isn't that a marital asset? It's not? Well, it was over. The net lease was over.
The net lease was over. The property was
that's
sold.
why it's not a marital asset
So
anymore.
he was trying to find a needle in a haystack to try to find.
She's just a trespasser at this point.
Absolutely, and she has no rights to. She had no rights to be there. I spoke.
So you negotiated with them in January?
In January.
To let her stay there till when?
For 6 months.
Till June?
Till I may have been May 31st. When they wanted her out of the
but not March
apartment.
1st.
No, but definitely not March 1st.
Okay, and so
she refused.
do you understand you're entitled to zero because you're a holdover? You don't have a right to be there anymore? In other words, a marital asset is over already.
No, he didn't make any. He was supposed to go in and delay the action. He said,
yes, I know that it's your God-given right to delay and obfuscate and continue to stay rent-free somewhere that you have no right to be.
Rent-free.
But I mean, what I don't understand, are you paying rent during that time? No, stop. Were you paying rent to the new owners of the net lease?
No rent.
Yes, I did. I started to pay rent.
When did you start to pay rent?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So who's divorced here? Okay. How do you prevent all-out nuclear war in a divorce?
Giving love and forgiveness.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Oh, good. Good for you. How do you prevent it? What do you do?
I guess avoid lawyers. Just kidding.
You know what? I got to tell you something. I'm going to stop right here. No, I got to stop. That is somewhat true. There are some lawyers in the divorce field who actually fuel disputes because they make more money. That's where, you know, I'm so glad you said it. I'm just going to go in a soapbox for 10 seconds. It's really true. You've got to be so careful when you hire a divorce lawyer because some of them want to make money and it's more important for them to make money, which is fine, but it's more important for that than for you to be okay at the end of the divorce. We're going inside the courtroom.
I started to pay rent in February, March. I started to pay rent because the new lawyer took me to court. She went against his petition. All right. We made a deal that I have to keep on paying rent till it's time to get out.
Oh, so your new lawyer struck a deal for you to pay rent?
Yeah, pay rent, of which she kept me in there.
How much rent did you pay?
I paid $3,000 for several months, then $4,000.
Okay.
Okay. We did make a deal. He didn't. That's the whole case.
Judge, during the term.
Here's the one thing I have to figure out. I have to figure out if the $5,000 you paid him he worked for, or if the $5,000 you paid him he didn't work for. I don't have to figure out if you don't like him or don't like the answers he was giving you or didn't feel that he stretched out your free time long enough. Give me your timesheet so that I can see what you did with the $5,000 retainer. When did she first start demanding her money back?
And after the case, I was discharged as her attorney.
Did she stop talking to him directly?
After I was discharged as her attorney, she started to demand her money back because she hired a new attorney.
Okay.
And she wasn't satisfied with the answer I gave her, which was the same answer in December as I gave her on January 6th when I appeared in court, when I met with the attorneys for the landlord, and it was the same answer when I notified her and spoke with her repeatedly about having to go to trial if she did not agree with the landlord to a settlement to stay until the end of May, during which time she would have...
The landlord wouldn't offer her to pay rent?
No rent until the end of May. If we entered into a stipulation of settlement and the case didn't go to trial, that was the agreement. She refused.
But they wouldn't just let her stay on as a tenant?
No, they would.
Are you still living there now?
No, I had to move.
Judge, it's a law.
How long did you stay there for?
6 months more.
It's a 2,000 square foot loft. They can get $15,000 a month for that space.
But they knew they were
This is more about the divorce than it is about my representation in landlord-tenant court.
All right.
And she made that clear at the beginning of her presentation.
Okay. Well, here's what I want you to explain to me, okay? I want you to explain to me why the man should do everything that he did for free for you.
I never
Because
saw-
there's all kinds of the legal maneuvering to be done when you're trying to pull off what you're pulling off.
Really?
You have to talk to the divorce lawyer several times. It's your divorce lawyer. If he never talked to him, why don't you have an affidavit from your divorce lawyer saying he never met with me, he never talked to me, he never.
He spoke to him once on the phone. He never saw him in person because he's always busy. He's always in court. He never has a chance to go visit him in court. All right. Number one, all I wanted was a statement from him. He sent all my letters
When
back.
did you send her the statement? February 14th.
The second week of February, Your Honor. And I met with Mr. Hilsiger on January 30th.
You did not meet with
Okay,
me.
I don't want to hear any more arguing and talking over each other. Okay.
I met with him on January 30th to discuss the case, to advise him that
How many times did you meet with him?
Once.
How many times did you speak with him?
Several times.
Oh, my God.
And she wanted to buy the building.
Let me just explain something to you. Here's the way I'm done.
He never gave me a statement. I never got
He says he did, and I'm looking at it.
I don't have it.
But you not getting a statement doesn't mean that the case is over because you never got a statement.
He sent back his
Okay, so
letters.
now I'm looking at his timesheets, and I'm looking to see if there's anything going on there that's irregular. I'm looking to see what
many
evidence
hours
you
did he
have
work?
that he did nothing
How many
other than the fact
hours?
that you don't like the result, and I see nothing that would
Judge,
buttress
that's
what you're
not-
saying.
He never sent me
Okay,
a
Ms.
statement.
Stahl, we're done. We're done. I wish you luck on your divorce case, and I rule in favor of the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you know what? You're a freak. All right.
Well, the lawyer there, the defendant's able to show in court that he did do the work that entitles him to that. Step up a little bit and talk
He
to me here.
never gave
Step
me
up.
a statement. All
I
of
heard
this
you.
is about, I don't know where the judge is going with this, but
here.
all I wanted was a statement of the work he did. I sent him letter after letter. He sent it back. I sent him certified. He sent it back. I wanted a statement of the work he did. 20 hours at $2.50 an hour. He supposedly worked 20 hours. He only appeared in court once and didn't even tell me what he was doing. And with that, he just gave me to
So,
them.
have you found a good place to live now? Have you found a good place to live?
No, this is an important fact. By the
Have
way,
you
he
found a good
told
place
them
to
that
live
he
yet?
never got paid. The judge realized.
Have you found a good place to live? You
No,
settled
I didn't
down?
find a
No,
good
not
place
yet?
to live because
All
of
right.
this. Because of this. Because
All right,
this
well,
man,
hopefully
I
you
saw
will.
him in Chase Manhattan
All right.
Bank, and he was putting the money in.
All right.
Right. He told me to go outside the door. Remember, Victor?
Okay.
Remember?
Okay,
Remember
step
when
in
he
here.
was staying with us?
All right, come on in here. I don't know. She's pretty adamant about her belief that you're not entitled to this money.
She can
Something
believe
to
whatever
it?
she likes. I kind of feel sorry for her.
Why is that?
Because I worked for my money. I did this more as a favor than anything else, and I feel like I got her a good result.
Is there a chance?
She
Is there a
wasn't
possibility she
satisfied
didn't
with
get
the
that
result.
statement? Is there a chance?
Well, unless the mail didn't deliver it to her, but I sent it to her on 2 occasions.
All right, Harvey.
Okay, real quick, a lawyer doesn't guarantee results. A lawyer just promises to act professionally. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.